What is here?
Oh, yes, this is great.
Do you want to talk about this next?
Yeah, I'd love to. If you want to show maybe the video and kick it off with that, and then do a reaction to it.
Not a problem.
I'm trying to. Oh, I got a thing for the video here. I'm gonna cue it up at 0. You gotta jimmy it to do it. But there.
I don't. Can you stop this video once it starts? Or is it
you can. It's 15 seconds long, so.
Okay. Yep, I'm ready. I'm queued up at 0. Tell me when everyone's ready.
I am.
I'm ready.
Right,
is this the one you were talking about before the show?
I think so. Right. Yeah. Ready, set, play.
So the cop tells this 15-year-old black girl, "Come on, let's go." She doesn't go, and now he has flipped her out of her desk. It's went flying. He's drug her across the room, and he's like on top of her, like he would be on top of, a criminal that he's arresting. And he's looks like he's maybe handcuffing her, whatever. And
I think it was a little too rough.
Yeah, flipped her out of the chair, drug her.
There's some controversy over it, so I think the cop is already fired. Like they got rid of him immediately. But they're the students of the school, if I'm right on this, God, I hope I am, have like protested in favor of the cop, have said that his actions were reasonable. Now,
what the fuck do they know?
What? There's no way that students at a high school are protesting in favor of a cop. Unless there's like an article showing that, there's no way.
There's like, I imagine like 3 like white supremacist asshole kids out there like, yeah. Drug her good.
I'm gonna see if I can.
Not enough force, if you ask
How old is
me.
that girl?
All right, here I have another. I haven't seen this video before, but let's watch it together. And I'm having a hard time watching it. Actually, mine's okay. I'm buffered at, I'll go back to 0, but at 1. Tell me when you guys are ready. Yeah, it's 1 minute long, so it should be okay.
I'm there.
Taylor, are you muted?
Oh, I did mute myself. Yeah, I'm there.
Why did the students walk
Go
out
back.
today?
Stop it.
Well, the students say Officer...
All right, tell me when you get to 0.
I am at 1.
Ready, set, play.
Why did the students walk out today? Well, the students say Officer Ben Fields is a good guy and that they don't want his reputation to be ruined by all that's happened. About 100 students at
Mine's all
Valley
broken
High
up.
School
Sucks.
rallied in support of the school resource officer who was fired earlier this week. The students walked out of a class for a rally in the atrium. The group wanted to show administrators their support for Fields. He was fired from the Richland County Sheriff's Department for the way he handled a student who refused to leave for class after her teacher and an administrator asked her to leave. Students wore shirts with phrases like "Free Fields" and "Bring Back Fields." Students say they were ready to be heard.
He was like our watchdog for school and everything. Like, we all loved him. Like, I'm not speaking for like everyone, but everyone I know like loved him and everything. He was just like a great guy. He was always nice to talk to. He was always playful and everything.
I don't know. You got one girl saying that she's best friends with this guy. You got 100 students that apparently waited past curfew between classes for 5 minutes.
All right, I'm sorry about that fucked up audio, everybody.
It doesn't matter to me. Like, I don't care what the protest is doing. If I was in high school and they were like, "Hey, everybody's leaving class, so they can't punish all of us," it could be like a pro KKK rally, and I would be like, "Yeah, I'm leaving class. Like, I'll be not in class for a while. I don't care what it's promoting. I just want to be out of class. Like that's all they were doing. I think. Nobody gives a fuck about their school resource officer. Like nobody cares.
No. Yeah, everyone's I think I ran a CPU. It's difficult on my computer because I'm recording and streaming at the same time, and recording and streaming, and apparently that shitty fucking USA Today media player was all it took. We watched half a dozen YouTube videos and everything's fine, and then the shitty USA Today site comes along and there's trouble. But back on topic, there really were students going in favor of this cop. Apparently he's there all the time, and it's not like he's routinely a douche. The teacher told the girl to leave. Some school administrator, I'll make it up, like the vice principal or something, told the girl to leave. And then the cop told the girl to leave, and she just sat there in her desk like that was an option. Like she could just do whatever the fuck she wanted and ignore everyone that comes along and says, look, you're too disruptive, you got to go. Like at some point, there are rules that get to be enforced. I don't know what happened before this, but I'm going to guess the cop didn't walk in there and grab her by the hair as step one, you know, that he said, you got to go. And, you know, and she just sat there defiantly. Like, isn't there a step in the escalation chain for a cop to eventually grab you and make you comply? I've also said this. I was like, there are people you rough up and people you don't, right? Like the one that comes to mind to me is like, you know, if you got some gangster on a corner or something, then you kind of need to lay it down and, you know, even just to keep yourself safe. On the other hand, if you have some 12-year-old skateboarding where he doesn't belong, you don't just run in there and flying tackle him as step one. You know, like use some discretion on this thing. She didn't need roughing up. She was not a threat to this cop. But is that what he did? I mean, like, how would you have handled it if you said, look, you got to get out of your chair, your teacher told you to, your principal told you to, they pulled me in here as the last step?
I've seen that handled before. The guy picked the person up, desk and all, and placed him in the hallway and closed the door.
He picked the kid up while he was sitting in the desk?
Yeah, he picked up the desk with the kid in it, took it outside in the hallway, sat it down, closed the door behind him, came back in and continued to teach class. But he didn't flip Jimmy in the floor and arrest Jimmy and handcuff him or anything. Jimmy wasn't injured. Jimmy was just trying to get a rise out of the guy anyway. So Mr. Hall came over there, picked Jimmy's little ass up, desk and all, and carried him to the hallway, and that's where Jimmy stayed. Because that was your punishment. You did something stupid, he would just be like, all right, leave. Get out of the hallway. You don't get to learn today. he was like, I don't care if you learn or not. I got a job to do. You know, if you're not here to learn, then you're not here to learn. And that was that. But I the fact that she's a female and that I didn't like that he really manhandled her there.
If he had really roughed her up, like, you know, oh my God, your knee's on my neck, you're hurting me. Like that'd be really hard to be on his side, you know.
I think it's still pretty hard to be on his side.
Really?
Like,
I didn't like that he drug her across the floor.
I would have. It'd be easier to side with the cop if it was a healthy guy, you know. Someone I just feel like they're a little more durable.
Oh, you mean the guy who's
yeah. If the kid had been like, you know, whatever, the wide receiver on the football team or something, like, yeah, I can see why you need to sort of establish a dominance, and you also know this guy's built for bruising, right? That's what a wide receiver is. This girl, on the other hand, not so much. But I just feel like it was the accumulation of like 40 minutes of defiance by the time it went from like teacher to principal to cop.
Even then, though, she didn't need to, or he didn't need to drag her. Like, why?
Yeah. It looked like too much.
He could have stopped it right there. As soon as she was out of the desk, could have put a stop to it. He didn't have to do the whole like grandstanding, like, hey, everybody in the class, look at how much control I have over the situation here. Like, just seemed shitty.
Yeah, she's not a criminal, and I feel like she was treated like one.
Well,
yeah, absolutely.
She was treated roughly. Someone in the chat just wrote, he obviously didn't slam her. He just pulled her roughly, which I think is a pretty good description of what we saw. You know, he just sort of...
Her chair went flying, and she got drugged like 10 feet across the floor, and then he gets on top of her with all of his body weight and pins her down. And
I thought
it was just a jerking. It was a very rough jerking motion, enough to like throw the desk. Like, and I know that those desks are light, and so she probably was like holding on to it, and so it flipped up. But still, you have to pull somebody pretty fucking hard to do that.
I'm gonna look again. Like I thought he literally pulled by the desk. Let me get...
That's not what I would have done. That's all I know. There were other ways to handle that.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that. I feel like what if you were like, all right, everyone but Miss Cunt here, let's go. Leave her in there.
He grabbed
feel like such a dumbass.
He grabbed the underside of the desk, like the writing surface, and flipped it over backwards. I'm going to show it to everybody one more time so they can see it.
Or I guess, yeah, but then you're like giving her control over the class. If you're like everybody else leave, then she kind of feels like she made a difference as far as like destroying the whole attendance of the class, at least for a little bit, you know? It's kind of like conceding.
I just want to correct myself. He may have grabbed the underside of her thigh and flipped it over. I don't know what difference it makes, but Yeah, he definitely sort of tossed her over, flipped her backwards. And
No.
I don't know if this is true, but the chat says the girl had punched the officer previously, and it's suspected that she had previously assaulted her 62-year-old teacher. And it's right here on the internet, so there's no denying it.
Well, why didn't he pepper spray her? Why didn't he just he should have just shot her in the kneecap, clearly.